And we are live. What's good, people? It's your man DL Saint back with you again. Yeah, I'm going pretty hard. It's helping me cope with everything that's going on. And you're supposed to go hard. That's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, we're gonna do a little talking. Y'all know what I'm doing right now. I'm always looking at my joining my own live stream. Let me turn it down so it won't be echoing all over the place. And we're gonna have some fun. So tonight's topic: how are Black women depicted in American media? Something I've been thinking about. I came across an article, and I was thinking, of who can I have this conversation with? Because as y'all know, I'll be wilding. My dudes be wilding. So what I'm like, who can I talk to? And I just met a wonderful young woman. There's a good friend of my niece, student of Ohio State University, the Ohio State University. I don't want nobody to get mad at me out there. Um, who is extremely sharp. We've had some good conversations when she was down here for spring break. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was actually impressed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna holler at her. And her name is Clark Griffith, and she is here with us today. So we're just gonna pop her up here and she can say hello.
Hello,
There she is.
everybody.
And everybody consists of us right now, but people will be watching this later and people may even jump in. Um, but yeah, I thought this would be a good topic, and I really wanted to have a young person's opinion on this particular topic. So, just um, for the beginning, how about you tell everybody who you are and what you're about and all that?
Okay, I'm Clark Michelle Griffith. I'm a second year student at the Ohio State University studying philosophy, politics, economics, and minors in public policy and sociology. I do plan to graduate next year, so if you want to plug me with a job, let me know. Um, I would hate to say I'm like a social activist because I just feel like I'm always plunged into this work, just like my identity being a black woman, just all the intersections of the world. But I would say like my mission in life is to make people feel alive when they don't want to live, and like that's something I really try to pursue personally and professionally because I know how hard the world gets, like especially the personal struggles that I'm going through currently, but also the struggles of my friends and like just people you encounter. But I'm on a pre-law track. I hope to go to Columbia Law School. I'm working really hard at that and definitely becoming a lawyer, but like also breaking down the system, but most importantly educating people because like just recently I've been learning like a lot of people really do not know this stuff. A lot of people do not have these things accessible, especially just trying to just trying to change the world, honestly, like just have a breakthrough moment in society. I just feel like we're at a point where like everybody's clashing, there's so much tension, it's not enough love and like so much hate. So definitely trying to spread love in this world.
All right, look at that. Look at you being all political and media savvy and all that. And I mean, you don't have any formal training in media, do you?
No, I do not have any formal training in media.
And for a guy who's been doing this for a while as a comedian, and I've done some things out there in the world, you are good at this. Just so you know, right off
Thank
rip,
you.
most people can't handle it. Yeah, they just can't handle it. I'm just gonna put it to you like that. I done seen some craziness. Um, and I didn't know you had ambitions to be in the law world. I do have some friends. Perry Davis, Esquire, Perry Davis Jr. out of Cincinnati, Ohio, has been practicing law for over 30 years. Has a nice firm there. He was on the show last week, and Suzette from Suzette Speaks. Um, that's a podcast. She's out of Miami. She's also an attorney. She's actually on right now, um, talking about the latest Supreme Court justice to be confirmed. Was it Ketanji Harris? I believe is her name.
Kantaji Brown
Ketanji
Harrison.
Brown. I'm so sorry. I didn't. I
Super
didn't.
excited to hear about that.
Right. She got confirmed and didn't even need the tiebreaker vote from our vice president, which I thought was amazing. Apparently, three Republicans came over to vote for, which they should have. Definitely overqualified
Overqualified.
for that position. Definitely the right pick. Definitely the best and brightest. And I mean, and it's kind of sad that it's still you have to be the top 0.001% before people would even consider you, and even then, it's like you got to twist their arm to do it. But so, what I mean, shout out to her. Um, That's amazing, and it's a great day for America because it's only going to help all of us, whether you be liberal or conservative, doesn't matter. That's a balance at the highest court that's needed. You don't want too many of one or too many of the other. You want that balance so the system, our checks and balances, can continue to work. So I will
Oh, just
definitely.
real quick, I just have to fix. I said Harris, but her name is Kataji Brown Jackson.
There you go. Thank you. I wasn't gonna. I
Just
mean,
to
I
make sure.
hadn't. Yeah, I didn't write it down in my notes because I wasn't even going to say that. But but yeah. So, and thank you for that. Look at you, fact checking yourself. That's what's up. So, our topic, and like I said, I'm eager to get into this. Uh, how are Black women being portrayed in mainstream media today? And that's a good segue because we saw what she went through with her confirmation. So as a young woman in a very prestigious college, right, who is part of the generation who was basically consumed by media. I mean, what are your thoughts on that initially?
Initially, I always look at it from a historical perspective just to see how far we have came because you do have to give progress where it is due. But when you look at from like slavery to black politan films to like where we are today with social media rising and engaging us, especially as a young woman, we are young women, just young people in general, we are the biggest consumers of social media, and that does definitely affect us. So today, I would say social media is affecting the way we perceive ourselves and the image we have of black women. I see two types of stereotypes with two stereotypes with black women on social media. It's either we have to be workaholics, always working at something, just trying to accomplish something, be the next, like as you see with LLCs rising, stuff like that, just constantly being like this image of that girl, or also on the other side, hypersexualizing our bodies, not even just us, but also the media, because that is what's selling these days. So definitely the like BBL structure, like you have to change yourself for the to fit into this world because it is a money market. So I would say out of both of those things, I see us just sacrificing ourselves constantly for a world that really truly doesn't value us, but also this capitalist mindset that we just have to keep going. Like it doesn't matter about our internal struggles, like our battles just as a people, and just the intersection of being a black woman. So I think it's very capitalistic how our world is going, but also I believe that it's very like sacrificial lambs for a system that doesn't value us 365 days a year.
That's what's up, and it's funny you bring that up because later on in this interview, we do have a section where we tackle that right there. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I wrote that down, and I'll be like, okay, and we'll be able to delve into that just a little bit more when we get to that portion. Wow, that's pretty cool. So when you Google this and you go looking for information, there's not a whole lot of recent articles on this topic. I did manage to find one from 2021, and let's see, we'll pull it up here. Add to stream. Bam, there we go. And this is from Deadline, which is a um, a publication for basically for Hollywood. Like this is really big in Hollywood. There's a lot of articles and stuff like that. That this is one of the things that people the movers and shakers that they do read, and and then the headlines just it kind of struck me, and it was this was back in March 2nd of 2021 when this article came out, and black females more likely than white females to be portrayed as smart in film and TV, but colorism persists around skin tone, says study. And I'm not going to bore everybody by reading everywhere, kind of going through this, but they were saying I thought that was interesting that black female actors, the roles will be the smart one as opposed to the historic archetypes of black females. And I'm not sure if you know about this, but I kind of looked it up. There's a few things on YouTube, like everything else, and they talk about this like three basic archetypes of black females in TV and movie media, and the three being the mammy, the Jezebel, and the
And the
Sapphire.
sapphire.
Right. I was going to ask you. So have you studied this, or is this stuff that you've looked up on your
This is
own?
stuff I looked up. I actually was reading the article that highlighted the Sapphire, the Mammy, and the Jezebel. And I really do see that just in history as we progress, but also in contemporary society, I do see these dynamics still working. They're definitely still prevalent in our day. It's just how we like, I guess, how our current age is like utilizing and seeing it, especially through social media. Because when you look pre-COVID to post-COVID, social media has expanded so much. You see people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. They put all these stakes in social media. It's skyrocketing. I think was it Elon Musk? He just bought a $9 billion stake in Twitter. So I think that these portrayals of black women have been incorporated into social media. And when you think about the social media algorithm, it's addictive. It's like, I want to be this, I am consumed by this. It's like constantly in our face. But it's also being developed in new ways.
Okay, now those are really good points. And so let me ask you this, and you and I had this discussion when you were in Florida. Who do you think is behind this social media depiction of everyone, not just black women, black men, but just everyone? Is anyone behind this? Is it just something that is it a mirror being held up to America? And this is what's coming back. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I would say we're all like pretty, like we're all the culprits. Like we all get on our phones, use social media daily. Like we're all aiding and abetting the system, either knowingly or unknowingly, because that's what's on our feed. That's what we like. But also, I think the main root, I can't really point. I can. I can't really point fingers at people because, like, I don't know people personally and I don't know their intentions. I know some people's intentions are for money. Some people's intentions are really to empower women, and some people's intention is to spread hate. So I would say, if I wanted to pinpoint, I would say this neoliberal mindset that has us like all like just hooked, like, oh, we have to keep working, we have to keep working, we have to keep doing this, like like this imagined idea of equality that we're gonna reach it with like democracy, all of this stuff. Like when you get on like social media and Instagram, like how I pointed out, like you either see black women always working, like we have to constantly be working, we have to constantly be doing something. So I definitely think that is a neoliberal mindset, how just how America works. Like we have to work. If you don't work, you're presumed as lazy or stuff like that. But that's not really the reality of it. Like when you look at our workforce and stuff like that. And then additionally, like this sense of like body positivity, which I do think is true, but also I think it's being skewed so much because a lot of people are being influenced by this BBL like structure and stuff like that. And just like constantly like having to change yourself for society. So I really cannot paint anyone as a culprit. I myself sometimes as a culprit, but when you like really get into like neoliberal theory, like a lot of this stuff is outlined of how society has just been changing and progressing.
Wow. How old are you? 50 what?
19. Literally.
19 years old. You got some pock in you. Timothy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Demon got me. I see you. Yo, thanks for the love, brother. Um, last call for insight. What's up? Thanks for joining. Hey, we going real high Q tonight, fellas. We going real high Q. I brought a ringer. You know what I mean? So we about to get into this, and I look forward to hearing y'all thoughts as we go along. Um, you saw me on the Fresh and Fit last. Sorry to hear about my. Hey, man, thank you very much, yeah, brother. Yeah, we lost my dad this week, and yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, he had a full life. My father is definitely a warrior. That's where I get it from. The last thing he wanted me to do is sit back and cower in the corner like a little punk. He's gonna tell me definitely to push through it, and that's what I'm gonna do. My father wasn't very religious, but if he were to pick one, if he's gonna pick a paradise, it wouldn't be the traditional heaven. Like he's in Valhalla. Put it to you like that. That's where my dad is. So thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Insane 45. Okay. We're getting right into it. Welcome in. The problem with women empowerment is that they just want. People complain about the patriarchy having power, but they forget that these men died for the power that they now have. Okay, we're gonna table that. We're gonna get to that. We're definitely gonna get to that because there's one thing I want to jump in before we start going on tangents. Uh, AK, thanks for coming and thank you for your condolences. I do really appreciate it. Like y'all don't understand, man. Like I rock with y'all. My Fresh and Fit fam, y'all know I rock with y'all. My Suzette Speaks people, y'all brand new to me, but y'all know I rock with y'all because y'all cool. Y'all might be a little bit too blue for me, and I mean blue as far as a red pill, blue pill thing. Y'all might be too far in the blue. I'm trying to bring y'all over, maybe not all the way into the red, but maybe closer, so y'all can see what's going on this side of the fence. Kind of peek over and see that it ain't that bad. But and that's another episode as well. Um, Number one role model superhero. That's right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So those are really good points that you brought up. That was amazing. And what I wanted to ask a couple questions real quick, touching on the deadline article. Why do you think now that black women are depicted as getting or cast in these smart roles as opposed to the mammy role or the Jezebel role or the angry black female, which is the sapphire role? Why do you think that's this new dynamic that's coming up?
Well, you have to give credit where credit is due. As a black woman, we are so strong and powerful. Like, we are truly the blueprint of this world. We are the caregivers of this world. So when you look historically through the things that black women have been through, segregation, redlining, just everything, just it's so critical to know that intersection of being black and a woman. Like, it's so critical. And if you want to learn more about intersectionality, please read and look into Kimberly Crenshaw because she is excellent and she will explain it so well. So I see black women being portrayed as smart because we are these trailblazers. When you look at people like Kantaji, she's a Supreme Court justice. She's so smart. Like, she has all these accolades, and like I said, it goes into that not that capitalist mindset that black women we have to. I've always been taught that I have to work twice as hard as them. So when I really see us being depicted as smart because one, we are truly really smart as we are the most educated people in America, black women. But we are portrayed as smart because of these trailblazing accolades that we have been doing. When you just look at just the amazing things that black women are doing, like Rihanna, Fenty, like all these black owned businesses, black women, I'm pretty sure are the biggest leaders in small businesses right now. So I think we're being portrayed as smart because like we're demanding it. We are smart, and for so long we've been called stupid that we don't know nothing. We're second class citizens to everybody. So I do love that we're being portrayed as smart, but we're also not a monolith.
Okay, and then I just want to throw this out right now. The topic is black women, so we're not gonna jump in and say, well, you can say the same thing for black men or Latin or whatever, whatever, whatever. We're gonna do what we can to stay on topic, but I do want to address insane number 45 chat, and that was the problem with woman empowerment. You know, when we read that earlier, it's just want, and I, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, but um you're referring to maybe the set asides, maybe the checking the box. What is it called in sports when you have to have that equality in sports? And I don't forget the law. So you have like female basketball and soccer and all, and they get equal money for the thing. Maybe he might be referring to that. And a lot of people say the same thing about black men when they talk about set asides and they talk about affirmative action and stuff like that. But would you push back real hard on what was saying? Did you see it? Want me to read it for you again, or and it's right here? The problem. Can you read it, or you want me to read it for you? I'm not sure how big it is on your screen.
Oh yeah, I can read it. Okay. Problem with women empowerment is that they just want. People complain about the patriarchy having power, but they forget that these men died for the power they have now.
I mean, would you like to touch on that? I mean, just to push back a little bit, and then we'll get back on script.
Okay, I'm kind of confused on what the person really means by women empowerment. Like, we just want. Like, what type of empowerment are you talking about? Because I can empower someone on a personal level, but I can also empower somebody on a professional level by opening seats to the table and also removing myself from positions of power to give open to that room. So I don't really understand. We want in a world full of everybody that wants. This is a supply and demand world.
That's a good point. That's a
So
good point. So, insane. If you can follow that up and maybe, and again, keep in mind the topic. We're talking about how black women are being portrayed in mainstream media, and but I do want to touch on that. If you can kind of tighten that up for us, Demon got me, you know what I'm saying? Heavy hitter over there in Fresh and Fit World, one of the biggest mods over there, man. Good to see you, brother. A veteran just like me. Sorry about the ones with brains overshadowed by Shaniqua's acting and as on World Star. I mean, we get that, and that's definitely the negative. Absolutely, absolutely. And we're gonna delve into that a little bit into this interview, um, as it pertains to how the reshaping of the sexual marketplace, like the new traditional, as opposed to what I always thought and what older people thought traditional was, that sort of thing. And everybody you seeing so far, like especially with Demon and a couple others, they're fresh and fit folks. So when you get down to Miami, they gonna get you ready because that chat is undefeated. You hear what I'm saying? So you better come knowing what you know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna run through these chats real quick and we're gonna get back on topic. J Bones, what's good, brother? Thanks for joining. Um, Appreciate that. Equality, kind of, and then saying is following up. You can't just demand and want. You got to ask yourself, how did men end up with power? Uh, well, because when the boat was sinking and women and children first, we take on responsibility. Power comes with that too. Um, I see where he's coming from. I mean, and it's not pertaining exactly to what we're talking about. This second is going to come into play a little bit, especially when we get into the dating dynamic. Jatari was good, brother. Fresh and Fit Chat is undefeated for sure. For absolutely sure. I didn't see them break some people down. They made grown women cry on there. Grown women. Most of that war stuff you see on World Star when women get Frank Castle, they get kicked out, is because of the chat. It's because of the chat. They Fresh and Fit, Aaron, like Chris and everybody in Big Mo, they're like, tell the women, don't read the chats. Like, don't read the chats. But they read them anyway, and then they get their feelings hurt. So let's get back on topic. And that article touched on colorism, and that's something that all of us in our community has dealt with at some level, shape, or form. And like, so what are your thoughts on colorism? And is that a thing that your generation deals with heavy?
Oh, 100%.
On
Definitely.
in what way?
Um, I am of lighter skin. I have a mom who is like very dark, way darker than me. People don't even believe that I am her daughter because she is darker than me. And I could just tell by we go to Kroger's one day just how people approach me and talk to me. And like they don't know my age because I do be looking grown. And like me and my mom actually kind of look like sisters, but even the way that they approach me and talk to me as opposed to my mom, they get very aggressive with her. I feel like when you have dark skin, they paint you as this aggressive person, like it's very European. As you just see, like when you see pictures of slaves depicted, you don't typically see light skinned slaves depicted. You always see dark skinned slaves depicted. So colorism not only is historical, but it's also been embedded in us within the black community because we're always trying to face off with each other. We always are in competition with each other because we don't feel like it's enough rooms at the table, and we've been indoctrinated to believe that it's not enough rooms at the table and that some people can go, but others people can't go. So colorism definitely plays another role in today's society as we go in regards to social media. Like I definitely see, like I guess you can say these IG influencers. They're predominantly light skinned women who really do attract. I guess you would say the followers are the what is the word, the not insights but the activity on your page and stuff like that. And even when you get on TikTok, like I feel like people are just like fetishizing what it means to be light skinned and what it means to be dark skinned. It's just very like I hate colorism because I believe everyone's so beautiful, and like you were made in the skin that you were supposed to be in. Like you see today people bleaching their skin. Like we're constantly be black women we're constantly being told we're not enough, and that when we do get enough, you have to be a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have a certain skin color. Colorism is definitely entrenched into our society. For instance, I have a nephew who is my same skin complexion. His mother is also a dark skinned woman like my mom. People don't believe that that is her baby. And she's also, I can say, kind of like color with, because probably so long in her life she's been told that black is not beautiful. All black is not beautiful.
And she's about my
So
age. Would you say she's about my age, or a little older? I'm 51.
yeah, my mom's 51.
Okay. Pretty. Wait, we went
So
to the same high school, right?
yeah.
Oh. When was you born?
uh
I'm playing. I'm playing, girl. I'm playing.
Let me call my daddy from the dead. But yeah, I definitely see colorism. I definitely experience it. Like even at Ohio State, like when you go out to like if you were in a white majority, say you're a black woman in a white majority friendship, I rarely see dark skinned women in that friends group. It's always light skinned women or mixed women, but also how man fetishize light skinned women or mixed women, like, oh, you're supposed to be shaped a certain way because I guess when you're light skinned or mixed, you have these defining body character traits too, which doesn't
and,
really
and
make
and and that's
sense.
not true. We're gonna delve into that when we get to the dating part, because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was coming up, light skinned girls didn't have no booty. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm just gonna keep it 100. It was the darker sisters. It was like, back out. This was before BBLs. You know what I mean? You couldn't do nothing about it. White skinned girls were like, yeah, this is a guy. But I get what you're saying. So one of the things you're gonna have to learn, especially if you want to get on Fresh and Fit podcast, what you will be able to do is it's not that hard. And then you got people who know you here. The chat's gonna be looking for you. Every time you say I feel like, I'm gonna say merch, because they have a shirt with a woman on it that says I feel like, because every woman in America, that's their go-to. I feel like. You can't even do a drinking game with it because you would die from alcohol poisoning, because you hear I feel like 15 times in less than a minute. So when you hear that, you're definitely gonna hear it there. But when you hear it here, that's I'm just training you, getting you ready for the big game. You know what I mean? Because you from
Mm.
Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Your parents went to my high school. You're gonna have to represent, girl. My name gonna be on this. You're gonna have to represent. You better not get Frank Castle. That's all I'm saying. You better not get Frank Castle. That means kicked out. So last call for insight. As a female leader, how do you go about inspiring other women to want better or do better when there are easier, less honorable paths available? Ooh, that's a good one. And that's he's referencing uh OnlyFans. He's referencing, like you were saying, like sexualizing yourself and possibly monetizing that, throwing your cash app out, showing the goods, all that. I mean, yeah. What are your thoughts on that statement?
um when you say honorable, what is honor to you? For me, OnlyFans, all of that stuff, I'm like here for it. Do it because that is what's on
Really?
the market. If you will need to sell your body to make money, you need to do it because that's going to pay your bills. That's going to put your child through school. I don't understand how someone's personal life choices affects other people. This is my life. You need to worry about yourself. And you could say this, oh, it's not a good representation or role model for my child. Well, show your child other role models because a child, when you train a child the way they should go, they will not stray from that path. That's something personally that I believe. So people who do that stuff, they're making tons of money. I know people have gotten rich off this stuff, and the same people talking down on them are the same ones in their views and the same people subscribing to their OnlyFans.
So okay, we're coming off script, and we're just gonna have a real good conversation because I like this. I like this. You're saying it's all good. Now let me tell you, as an OG, and I'm gonna go ahead and hold that. I'm gonna hold that distinction as an OG. When I was your age, one of the first things the OGs told me is all money ain't good money. You understand? All money ain't good money. So we're gonna use you as an example, just because you're here. You said you wanted to be an attorney and you wanted to do some great things down the road, right? So you're at 19 now, but at 29, when you're hoping to be up for partner, or you like getting your own business up and running, you're trying to build up your own clientele. And again, we're just using as an example. Let's say when you were 19, you were doing the OnlyFans and you were, like you said, you was getting it. And these pictures begin to surface. And the world is all about perception, especially at the higher levels of income, right? When it's like when you the barrier of entry is really tough. Is it fair to say that you have to own it at that point and you can't blame anyone for that being detrimental possibly to your business and to your future? Or are you saying that they have to accept you no matter what?
I think when you go into these things like OnlyFans are just using your body to make money, or just like Instagram pics, all the things that truly do attract people in this day and age. I believe that when you're going into it, you have to know the consequences. There's consequences to all your actions. So
Okay. So you do believe in accountability.
yeah, I definitely do believe in accountability, especially when you aspire to be someone in a different, like, I want to be a lawyer in a professional career as a lawyer who is very esteemed, very looked at. Um, you mess up, you might get your certification taken away. So you have to hold yourself accountable, and there are consequences for your actions because certain careers demand more of you and demand more of your personal life, and they're going to hold you accountable for all these things you're doing because when you're a lawyer, you're a representation of the law. You're a representation of the bar association. When you're a doctor, you're a representation of the medical association and all these other things. But for the people that are taking these career paths, a lot of these people have a lot of income from these. These are what they want to do. Like, this is what they're making their money off of. And then the careers that they do go into, those people accept it. A lot of people do not. A lot of people, when you think about OnlyFans, there's a lot of ways you really can do it where no one can know your identity.
Oh,
But
oh,
when people do know your identity, you do have to be held accountable because of society's expectations and social norms.
okay. Now, so, and again, and you've been in my house and you're close to my family. When I look at you, I look at, you know what? That's my little niece right there. So repeat after me. All money
All money ain't good money.
ain't good money. And always remember that if you're faced with a decision, and now listen, if your future was, hey man, I don't care, right? I'm out here, I'm gonna live that 304 life, I'm gonna own it, I'm gonna finesse dudes and all that, fine. Then go get the bag. If you don't care, go get the bag like that, however you gotta go get it. But you're saying you want to change the world, you want to be taken serious by the 1% at one point, at some point, to even to begin to make changes like that. You want to be an attorney. You may possibly want to have a seat on the Supreme Court. I'm telling you now, you cannot have photos out there of you pleasuring yourself, of you doing things with multiple people at the same time. Though I don't care if you got a mask on. I don't care if you got your account linked to somebody else who ain't doing nothing with their life. The truth will come out. And if it does come out, let me ask you this. If it does come out, will you own it?
Oh, I will 100% own it. That's something I always take in my life is accountability. I think a lot of these days we're distracted by these faux personalities of people, these faux ideals or images we have of people. We're human. We all make I don't want to say we all make mistakes. We're all fallible to some point. But you can't press your expectations on the people. I always understood no expectations equals no disappointments with people. So I'm gonna own it. That's something when I do hopefully one day run for office, I'm gonna be so accountable to everything that I've done in my life because that has made me what I am. I'm a human. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, and from those mistakes or from those not even mistakes or from those experiences I've had, they shape me who I am as a person. And I take that into my character very deeply.
Okay, and I'm gonna hold you to it. Not only me, but Insane, Demon Got Me, you know what I mean? The whole Fresh and Fit fam, the whole Fresh and Fit chat. Down the road, when you running, they see you on the ticket. Best believe they gonna remember, like, yo, she was talking to Saint. Let's go check some stuff. These boys find everything. Chat, am I lying? They find everything. There's some very smart men here. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just letting you know there is accountability, and I'm glad you understand that. And we are responsible for our actions, and I'm glad you understand that as well.
Mm.
And again, like I said, I'm proud of you because you tough. I see you sitting here like, what's up? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. But you went to Walnut Hills. Y'all ain't known for being hard. You know what I mean? We went to Woodward. We had to fight our way in there and fight our way out. You know what I mean? Y'all over there Walnut Hills, figuring out how the earth spins. And at least you don't
Strength
believe that
come from here. Strength come from your mind.
strength does
Mind
come
over
from it.
matter.
It mind over matter. And guess what? When I pull out my nine, things don't seem to matter as much. People go once they go run away, they leave their money. That's another conversation. I'm not advocating violence. I'm not. But I like that. So, all right, we're going to jump to the social media part because I did have some other things, but I like where this is going with accountability, and I want to take it in there. So, under social media, do you feel pressure as a young woman to be sexy on social media with, and in particular, I'm talking about Instagram?
Um, do I feel pressure? I would say I wouldn't say I feel pressure, but I can say that I am like influenced by the images that I do see on social media. Like not even people like necessarily posting their body or like I guess it's like when you I don't want to say male validation because I really don't care. But
But I
um
mean, if you're speaking for others, you can also speak for others as
yeah.
well, like because that's a big thing, right? Male validation period is a big thing for women. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So I do when I do see people like I guess exposing their body and stuff like that, I also see who it's coming from. A lot of these people they're making a bunch of money from it, but also what it does to like my mindset, I guess, when you go into like this BBL standard, like maybe I should get in the gym more, like get a tinier waist, stuff like that. I am a little, I would say, influenced by, but I'm also like always like sticking to my core. I don't have to change for anybody. I'm gonna be my authentic self when I show up in the room. Like whether you say sexy or not, like what you deem sexy, I might think what you deem sexy, I might think, oh, that was just a normal day for me actually, because that's just who I am.
Okay, okay, but you do acknowledge that there are lines, there are boundaries out there, and some women really do go beyond those boundaries. Like there's, I mean, when the girl just had tapes on her nipples and nothing else, would you say that that's crossing the line, or would you saying that's just her? She can do what she want to do
Um,
on a public social media page.
it's hard for me to speak on that because like would I do that?
Oh, it
No.
ain't okay. You wouldn't do that.
Would I do that? No. But I don't know anybody else's circumstances. I don't know their intentions. I don't know who they are because I look at it like this. I'm not tall enough, high enough, more powerful enough to look down on anybody.
Okay, okay. So okay, same person, right? Fast forward, they're sitting across the desk from you, and you're looking for a CFO, and you're looking at this person there on paper. They look pretty good, but on you got another pile of pictures sitting next to you. You got all those pictures of all those things that they were doing. Is that going to influence your decision on who you want to help you run your business?
Is it gonna influence my decision?
Come on, be real
Um,
now. Just you talk,
I
Uncle
have
Saint.
to be real. I do have to be real. This is like really, I really have to. I do not judge people. I have to know you personally. I have to know your intentions. Like I can't say that I wouldn't work with them because of their history. That's the same thing as you saying you wouldn't work with a felon because they have a drug history.
I mean, but if I wouldn't work with a felon who did time for armed robbery. I wouldn't work with a felon who did time for bank fraud, and I'm gonna put him in charge of my banking for the firm, right?
But I don't even think personally. I do not think those equivalent at all to the same thing of you posting your body. Just look at the world that we're in. This is a capitalist world. Everything is up for sale. Everything is a market. And whatever way you get into the market, if you're making money off of that, that's great for you. Like I guess you're not a loser in this system anymore because that's what you have. If that's what you have to do, and that not even that that's what you have to do. If that's what you want to do, I'm all here for you to support you and comfort you because I know personally how hard this world can be, and who am I to look down on you?
Okay, okay, and then like right here in saying and it's so right. What he's saying here, I'll tell you right now. If you want to be an MD, you better hope your record is clean. Fast money comes with slow problems, which is real true. The more powerful you want to be, the more scrutiny you better be ready to deal with. And hey, he's being 100, right?
One hundred.
I'm a retired air traffic controller. I had to get a secret clearance. That wasn't easy. That wasn't easy. Yeah, my record is clean, but boy, they went through it. You want a top secret clearance. They're not just going through you, they're going through your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mom and dad. They're talking to your friends like who you hung out in high school with. You right? And that's it just comes with that. So always remember that. And it would be nice to sit back and say, yeah, do what you want, it's all good. But it's not. And that fast money does come with slow problems. And at 19, when body is looking great and all this, and you doing all this, getting this fast money. By 29, that money gone. That's just a memory, right? And that stigma is still there. So just
Mhm.
keep that in mind. But that
But
I mean,
also, I just believe like you have to know what you want out of this life. You have. I believe every decision you make, there is consequences. You have to. I'm a critical thinker, so I'm always thinking ahead. I'm thinking 10 years ahead of what I'm doing. So that's a skill. A lot of people don't have critical thinking of what you want to do. But also, if that's what you want to do, if that's where you see your life, if you feel like nothing you're gonna do is gonna,
merch.
I guess, like mess that up or anything, go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and do it. Okay, and I'm not mad at you, but you know, I would argue that most people in your generation aren't critical thinkers. They're not even thought to be critical thinkers, right? You're taught to take tests, right? So I know for a fact the knowledge that you have, you've gained outside of your education. Now, Walnut is one of the best high schools in the country. Like they really prepare their kids to go on and do great things, and y'all have a great history. My cousin Casey's graduate of Walnut Hills, right? She's mega. You know what I mean? You know my niece. I'm looking at you. There's so many people that I know that came through there. Um, but the critical thinking part, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, it's not a lot of people in your generation thinking beyond the Birkin bag or thinking beyond riding around in Fresh's Lamborghini, right? No matter what the cost, right? They're not thinking beyond the boat party. So that's just something that I want to get out there because I'm hoping your friends and some younger people actually watch this interview. So that was really good, and thanks for being open on the sexuality part. Um, what do you think society values more, your looks or your intellect?
Mm, I think in the day we are in now, even though, like we have said, black women are constantly right now being portrayed as smart, I think it still values our looks because you could be smart, but do you look the part? Because I know in a lot of these corporate offices, they rather have I guess, a baddie with education rather than someone who looks like, I guess, what you deem not pretty or what you deem not beautiful. So I definitely think society values looks. Like, just look at the market.
Okay, okay.
Like, just look at the market. People definitely value looks. People are feeling that they have to change themselves so that they could fit this narrative, fit this look. Um, yeah, I think it values looks, but also I do not take education lightly. I don't value looks. I definitely value education. What's up here because looks fade. Like one day we are gonna get old. You are gonna crinkle up. It doesn't matter who you are.
Not me. I'm
Um,
gonna be pretty forever. Look at me.
and that's you could just look at looks are like what is it the fountain of youth, like all of that stuff, just how all these myths, all these stereotypes are just embedded in our society. It's always what is it's a saying like I might not feel good but I might look good.
So, do you think that standard holds true for men and women? The looks thing, the looks over intellect. You think that holds true for men and women?
I definitely don't think it holds true. I think women, we have to have a certain look, we have to have a certain body type. In today's society, I feel like we're constantly being pressured, but also when we are being pressured, if we let this pressure get to us, then I guess we have to go out for these avenues, these aspirations of what we're supposed to look like. But when you look at a man, I think today, just currently, just what's everything that's being broadcasted and put into our brains, a man's supposed to have. He could be the ugliest thing, but he got money, don't he? I'm like,
And
that doesn't
I'm gonna
really.
push back a little bit, Clark. I'm gonna push back just a little bit, and only because I'm older and I have just a hair bit more wisdom than you. But before I do, look what Demon said. It looked like you got a fan. Demon's the real one too. This girl is actually pretty smart, refreshing. After last night, yeah, hey fellas, I can't even watch the late nights too often, man. I really can't. I fast forward through them the next day because, yeah, it's just some of those women, my God. But men have to look a certain way, and think of picture in your mind two moguls right now, two or three billionaires, Are they fat, short, and ugly? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. No, they're not like sloppy, nasty looking. You know what I mean? Warren Buffett is old. Look at Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Look at look at Puffy. Look at all the moguls. You think of all of the guys who are big in the sports world, right? You still have to look. You have to look apart. There was a time in baseball when they recruited based on looks, based on confidence. They're like, oh, that guy, he has confidence. He has a pretty girlfriend. He's confident, so we're gonna pick him up. He'll be a good hitter. Like what? Really? But they did that. Looks,
I'm
looks are
gonna.
important in both.
I'm just gonna quote Jay Z. Ain't no such thing as an ugly billionaire. I'm cute.
True, but if you're a billion, if you're a businessman and you don't take care of yourself and you just look nasty and your hygiene is off and that, no one's gonna want to do business with you. I'm not. I'm talking about men on men. I'm not gonna want to. That's a fat dude, and you're constantly getting finessed by chicks. Nah, I'm not. Right?
Okay, but when you talk about looks, like what, like looks, I think that could be a range of things. Like not only, I guess you say like how the way you carry yourself, but like also what I'm seeing is like really like people's facial like features. Like if beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like if I don't think you're cute, it just ain't it. Or like I guess today in today's society, people are being distracted by, oh, he's ugly, but he wears Da Vinci, he has Louis Vuitton on, so I guess he's cute. So when you look at looks like that, I do I do believe men are held to a certain standard, but looks by money, what money makes you look like.
And okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that caveat. But if you remove the money, looks matter, especially when people are trying to. I'm looking at my next CEO. I'm looking at my next head coach. Looks matter. I mean, it does come up.
100%.
It does for, like I said, for men and women. So I didn't want it to sound like, oh, it's only women deal with this. Like now, dudes deal
Oh
with
no,
it
it's
too.
definitely looks definitely play a part. Definitely, they definitely play a part for everybody, but just the way I see it, just like constantly pressured in society because as you see with patriarchy, all these things that are socially constructed, women have always been taught to look a certain way, as we are like the caregiver. The house should look a certain way. We don't work. We should have our nails done. We should look like this. But I do see that with man that everybody does have to look a certain way, but I just don't think it's as like broadcasted on that level because I think so many people are now focused on like when you think of man, you associate it with money now.
I'm a jump in just real quick. Suzette Speaks is in the chat. Shout out to you. Big up, big up. And Suzette, I don't know what you're doing, but if you got a couple minutes, I just sent you a link to your IG. Um, this is Clark. She is one of the smartest young women I know. She wants to be an attorney. If you got a couple minutes, how about you jump in here and we'll talk about a couple things. Um, but because we got to get her squared away. Even Demon said she's pretty smart. Demon got me said that. Yo, I was ready to end the show right there. Like, what? We just gonna end the show on a high note. Demon gave a compliment. We out of here, but we got to push through. We got to push through. Last call. I saw you. I'm sorry. I'm moving slow through the chats because I'm so intrigued by this conversation. But last call for insight was saying from earlier. Reword the question: if it would hurt your reputation, would you work with them? And I think you may have touched on that. Like you said, it was accountability. It did matter. You're not judging, but it does matter, and you do have to think of your own future. Uh, and saying critical thinking only happens because of survival. Nowadays, everything for the most part shows up on demand. Critical thinking is almost dead. You're right. It's dead because we don't teach it. I mean, as a youngin, I had to think. My teachers challenged me to think outside the box. They don't do that anymore. They don't have the resources. They don't have the time. It's all about these tests because all their money is tied to the test. Teachers are overtasked. I mean, it's crazy. And then another one for Suzette and shooting out. Thank you, Suzette. Hope you're still there. 19, yeah, she's 19, man, and don't be trying to holler at my little niece, man. You know that right there. That I think somebody about to start trying to holler at you, girl. But
Warning, scent detected. Cash collection protocols activated.
yeah, that's my simp detector right there. I'm warning. I think there's some simps in
I thought
here.
that was someone's voice. I was gonna be like, oh my god, I'm actually scared.
Nah, that's my buddy. Don't be scared, girl. You with me. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You with Big Unc. You know what I mean? Uh, You always got to clean up no matter what. Just kind of jumping through the chat. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm new to this, so I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. I think she means pretty face, and thanks for being active, people. Thank you so much for being active and saying looks is not just your face. You smell well, you dress well, in shape, etc. Jay Z meant ugly as in face ugly. He didn't say you can stink, etc. And that's real talk. And we touched on that as well a little bit.
And
Um,
that's what I do believe that. But also, when Jay Z, I guess, face ugly, a lot of people won't get with you if you're ugly in the face. But I guess if you're cute in the face but you still stink, okay, I can fix that. Like you can stink, we can fix that. That's something you can fix. These facial features, like you're born with this. This is who you are. This is what God made you. Like a lot of people cannot fix that. And
right, and
when
that's
I
what
say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
and that's what Demon is saying. What she's trying to say for women, money cannot compensate for what they lack in the looks department, which is what you just said. You
100%.
see, just we got high Q folks up in here. And Suzette, I sent it to your Instagram for you to jump in on the link thing. So it's in. Okay, she got it. She said she'll be in a few. Um, so okay, now we're gonna get to pretty much the good part. What we love to talk about on the red pill side. And so my first question to you: are you familiar with red pill, blue pill when it comes to intersexual dynamics? Have you heard these terms before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Um, I'm going to make it real simple. Blue pill are people who are basically for the Disney fairy tale and doing things the way men have been doing things with respect to the dating marketplace. Show up to your house with roses, take you out to a real expensive date on the first time. Like simping is cool. Basically, what Will Smith is doing right now is like blue pill on steroids, right? It's all about women are sugar and spice and everything nice. And if you're good enough, you can win her heart and she'll love you forever. Blue pill, red pill, unplugged, aware. Hey, we understand the female dating dynamic. We understand hypergamy, which is basically women wanting to secure the best man, best resources, and then they also understand uh, the history of our species and how it's been for eons. So red pill guys are like, I don't know about that blue pill thing. I'm not gonna take you out for a $1,500 dinner on the first date. We're gonna get coffee and we're gonna get to know each other because I understand these sort of things. And most red pill, blue pill stuff that you'll find online revolves around uh, intimacy, which my buddy Jay Swans and I starts calling it. Guys want to get intimacy, which we call Foxy Brown. They want to get the Foxy Brown. They want that intimacy. They want to be with a woman, and it's really hard for men to do that, right? And then it also goes into how women date and move in the sexual marketplace. So we're gonna get into the dating part, and then you're gonna see in the chat a whole lot of a whole lot of stuff is gonna come up. And look, you got fans already. Go easy on her. Like they like you, girl. You know, they see what I see in you. I see potential. I really do. But I also want to pick your brain a little bit here, and we want to get into the dating dynamic part of this. So here's the thing. Oh, and they're talking about Suzette coming, so take it easy on Suzette. Yo, Suzette's tough, man. She's Jamaican. She got a problem with y'all, bro. It'll be buck up in here. You know, if she got a problem with y'all, it's gonna be like this, man. It's gonna be all day long. She ain't playing. So so let's talk about dating, right? And and that might not be like big on your priority list right now, but you have dated, I'm sure you know what it is. What are your thoughts on dating today? Like the sexual marketplace as it is right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Dating today, I think, is I don't think it's real life anymore. I think everything has been driven by social media. Like you said, with the red pill people, I'm not about to take you on a $1,500 date. Who has $1,500 to go get dinner? Let's get in
Simps.
real. Let's get in real life. Let's be real. Um, I just believe dating is just like it's so dramatized these days. It's so like so you need to fit the aesthetic. Like, oh, you're supposed to take your like you said the $1,500 meal. You're supposed to give me a Birkin bag by the third date. I don't agree with those things at all. I think I feel like I just have
Merch.
to reinforce this. Dating does not seem real life anymore. I feel like you rarely meet people in person. Like now it's all through social media and like I wrote a paper on how social media affects dating patterns and as you see like it's
Whoa, whoa,
just
whoa!
like
You wrote a paper and you didn't tell me about this. I need this paper.
yeah, it's
I
definitely
need
a
this
sociology
paper.
paper. I can
You
definitely send it to you.
you're gonna have to send it to me. So okay, so when it comes to dating, is money important?
Um I would say
Tell the truth.
for
Tell the
today's
truth.
society money is important when it comes to dating.
Okay, money is important. And what does that mean from the female lens? What would a female be expecting uh in that sense? What's the money for?
Okay, do you want this from like what I would expect the money to be for,
I
or
would like
from
to
like
start from your point of
society?
view,
Okay.
from your point of view, and then broaden out to what you think that your cohorts,
Okay.
your what they would think.
So money to me, I would say it doesn't really matter to me because I would say money doesn't matter to me of who has more or who has left. I come from parents where my mom was the breadwinner. Not that my dad made almost just as much as her, but my mom did make more. And I always seen a balance of like, oh, my dad paid for dinner, my mom pays for dinner another day. Like it's a mutual reciprocal relationship. I think money it bogs us down so much. Like oh, I just spent this much on you, but you just spend that much. Why does that matter? I just think it's definitely dating to me. It's a value perspective. I value you as a person. I want you. I need you in my life. You support me. You make me feel good. You make me feel better. Like I don't care. I'm not gonna say I don't care if you were the brokest man on the planet because you probably wouldn't even come into my circle, honestly. But
Okay, so
from
if the brokest man on the planet wouldn't come to your circle, that's just someone like if you're downtrodden to that point, you're a good guy, but you just broke and you're not really motivated. You're not even gonna want to holler at that dude. Is that what I'm
he's
hearing?
not gonna be in my circle because he's not motivated. He does I'm not I'm gonna say money is like this. Like not saying you make less than me or anything, but like I believe when you have motivation and passion for something, you're always gonna find a way to do it and have those like funds and stuff like that. I don't I wanna say when I say broke, I mean like broken, like mentally, like you're just done with like you don't see any why work, why do this, why care, like stuff like that. You won't come into my circle because you don't have motivation, you don't have that purpose, you don't have that drive for yourself. And as I'm in higher education, pursuing an education and more, I know I probably wouldn't be attracted to those people because not only do they don't have my mindset, they're not on the same level that I am mentally, and all the educational goals and professional goals that I want to reach, and just who I am as a person. But say I did meet someone who made me feel real good and that they were working a minimum wage job, I have to know you I probably I have to know you personally because like money is not everything for me. Like I truly believe money is the root of all evil. It brings people to lust. It brings people to madness because we value that. We place so much stuff on something we made materially when we're not really valuing people as humans. So,
Okay, okay. So let me say this. Let me say this. If you were making $200,000 a year and the coffee barista was a beautiful person, not just physically, but you just I don't know, he was everything that made you happy, and he's making $40,000 a year. Are you going to date him? And if so, would you date him seriously? Like, would you allow him to marry you and take care of everything moving forward?
what do you mean by take care?
Y'all married. You make 200,000. He makes 40. So obviously
Um,
he's not gonna be paying the mortgage. He's not gonna I don't see that person going into his quality of life. living in the renting out a room somewhere, and I don't, so he's gonna move in with you. You're gonna be paying all the bills, which is not a problem for you because you're doing well. He keeps the house clean, right? He makes you happy. You're gonna be with him. Is that someone that you can build with moving forward? Is that someone that you would marry?
Um, I would say it depends on if like the Starbucks barista, if that was just your only like goal, like if that was your only goal in life, probably not. Because
Okay,
like
okay,
I
that's
said, I
fair.
have
That's
other
fair.
goals that I want to accomplish, not just for myself, but also to serve my community. But if you were a barista who has a degree in like let's say public health or something, and you have a vision for yourself and like you're just doing this right now to make ends meet because the workforce is hard, y'all. It's not easy as it seems. Gas price is almost $5 and people the minimum wage is $7.25. Let's be realistic. um so i would I would have to say I have to know them. I have to know their goals. I have to know their intentions and their mindset. That's what I believe is all this matters. That's what makes a strong person in me.
Okay, and we're gonna highlight Demon Got Me's chat real quick. She's starting to speak a little bit of womanese. She's trying to sugarcoat shit. If you want to keep this chat on your side, you gotta. I'm like, you gotta be. What neighborhood you grew up in?
College Hill.
All right, you grew up in College Hill. You gotta be like the Fae with it. You gotta be A1 with it in here. These are men, and the women in here are hardcore women. You gotta be A1 with it. So womanese is what the term used. Is like, oh man, she's trying to blow smoke. She's trying to sugarcoat it. She's trying to evade. You gotta be hard in here, girl. So when I asked,
Anybody who knows me can attest to everything that I said. Like this is truly who I am. Like
yeah, all
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying is
say
just say
anything
it quicker. I'm just saying say it quicker. Like, nah, no, I can't. He's not ambitious enough. They'll respect that as opposed to going, oh, no, I gotta know him. Yeah, keeping it 100. At the end, you kept it 100. Dude, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring some bread. I ain't saying you gotta have a bag, but you gotta bring some bread. So, and all I'm doing is establishing, okay, so where's that cushion? You make 200, he makes 40. Nah, you know what I mean? But if he makes 100 and he's doing things, got his own YouTube channel, he's working at a federal job, he's making $100,000 a year, and he's ambitious. That guy, even though he makes half as much as you, that guy you might consider long term. Is that correct or no?
Wait, the which one? Which guy?
The guy who makes $100,000 has a career, right? You make 200, but he makes 100. He has a career. He has a side hustle, right? He's ambitious. You might get that guy a shot, right?
Yeah, I would give that guy a shot because he feels like he has a purpose in his life and he wants to act and he wants to activate on that purpose.
Okay. Okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. And okay, cool. So that's cool. Like I said, if you we getting you ready. You want to go down to Miami, right? You want to go down to Brooklyn. You got to get ready, girl. Don't be trying to that womanese BS when you go down there. And hypergamy is nothing to be ashamed at or ashamed of. Yeah, hypergamy. So are you familiar with the term hypergamy?
I am not.
And I mean, we could look it up later, but basically, hypergamy is a woman's desire to get the best that they can. I want the absolute best that I can, right? And so, because you remember back in the day with the class system, women always wanted to move up the classes. And again, I'm just a basic definition. Hypergamy is that women want to get the best. If they got a guy and they're making 50,000 and she's making 50,000, and that guy just ain't pushing, and there's another guy who's making 100,000 and she's digging that, she'll move up to him. Like, forget dude with the 50 grand. I want this guy. And then so on to the guy with 150 grand and so on to the guy with $1 million. They want to get the best they can get. And there's a bunch of other reasons behind it, but that's pretty much it. And I agree with Ozzy. Like, yo, there's nothing to be ashamed of. We got more people. Everybody coming into the chat. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all so much. So let me ask you this. Does your generation consider Instagram a dating tool?
I would 100% agree. They agree. Yes, they consider it a dating tool.
So you would say it's probably the number one dating app on the planet then?
Yes, any social media network I believe is a dating tool right now.
Okay, and that's what's up. And that's a shout out to Fresh Prince CEO because he says that all the time. the number one dating app, and a lot of guys are like, nah, not really. Like, no, bro, it is, and we got a very young, very beautiful, and very smart woman who just confirmed it right there. She just co-signed, so that's right. Shout out to you, Clark. That's how it's done. Leading from the front, thank you, sir. I'm trying, airborne, baby. That's how we do it. You're a paratrooper or a Marine, you're always going to be surrounded, and that's good because you can attack in any direction. As a paratrooper, I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be surrounded. So, and right now, Klarke is surrounded. She ain't holding her own. I'm so proud of you right now. And we're gonna continue along with the dating conversation. Um, so we kind of touched on this a little bit. So what would be the bare minimum requirements for you in a suitable mate? Like, what are the bare minimum that I gotta have now at 19, and then looking ahead because you like to think ahead at in your 30s? What would be? Hopefully, you'll be married by then. But like, let's say 29. What would be the bare minimum?
Okay, I would say I would try to get 5 bare minimums. Okay, number one, I believe in God. Not saying that you got to be Christian, you got to be a specific religion, but you need to believe in something definitely higher than yourself and devote yourself to that. That's something I do believe in. I've seen what God can do in my life, and I'm hoping that you can help me grow spiritually as a person, because this world is going to bring you down. It's going to bring you to low points, and you need a redeeming quality in this world. Second, I would say you need an education. I definitely am looking for someone who has the same critical thinking skills and also wants to pursue a diverse education. Like, just going through, I guess when you just go to college, there is just diversity met at your door. You're going to be in rooms and classes with people with different opinions, different views, not just diversity in looks. I'm talking about diversity in mindsets, diversity in the way of life, all of that stuff. And I guess just off of that education point, I'm looking for versatility. I want to be able to bring you to the hood, but also bring you to the boardroom too. I want you to be able to listen to Little Dirk with me, but also go and listen to like Clairo and Laura with me too. So I'm definitely looking for someone that's versatile. Um, Third, well, no, that was fourth. So fourth would be, this is like a 2 point. I hate homophobia and I hate misogyny. I can't do that at all, because obviously I just feel like you're not educated. You haven't took that basic sociology 101 course that really explains a lot of this stuff.
So
Um,
how do you feel about misandry?
Misogyny.
Misandry,
What is misandry?
hatred of men.
Hatred
Misogyny is
of
the hate.
man.
Misogyny is
I
the
do.
hatred of women. Contempt or hatred of women, and misandry is the hatred of men.
I do not believe in that. And when I look at feminist perspectives, um, people are just so like stereotyping, thinking that feminism is like the hatred of man. I don't know what feminist books you're reading, but as a womanist, I am looking for the equality and equity and love for all people radically. It doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever you identify as your gender. I care about you because that's your sentiment being on this earth. Um, my fifth one, let me see. Oh, probably just be funny. Like, I like to laugh. I'm a funny person. I
Oh
like to
man,
I like to party and have fun. Like, just be cool. Just be chill.
I am mad at you, but I just find it. I find it very telling that, and again, I find you extremely intelligent. I think you're wise beyond your years, but you had no idea about misandry, because misogyny is out there so heavy, and I would even argue that the hatred of men is accepted and encouraged in the West. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Okay, I didn't know the term, but I have been talking to people. I was actually, when I was in Tampa, when I hung out with a friend, he was talking about feminism. Like, this feminism is just like hatred of man. So just thinking of like hatred of man in the West, that's a really good question.
Yeah, because it's not talked about, especially in the circles that you're in right now. It's definitely not talked about on the college campus, and females dominate there, and feminism dominates there. And so think about that. We'll circle back to that. We'll circle back to that because I really want you to give that some thought, not just for this podcast, but just in general, because you may be able to get me some insight on what people are doing on campus there at the Ohio State University. Because I do believe if a man makes a statement and says, "Well, I want my wife to stay home," right? He's gonna face a torrent, right, of man hate stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like it's just gonna be crazy, and no one's talking about that. So I want you to give that one some thought. Um, so okay, so we're gonna talk about feminism a little bit. Again, I'm coming off script a little bit here. Um, do you think feminism has helped or hurts your generation?
Oh, I definitely think it has helped it.
Okay,
Um,
top three
I
top three ways that feminism has helped your generation.
Educational barriers, definitely. Feminism
Okay,
has definitely helped. That has expanded the way. As I said, Black women are the most educated women in America. Go read that. um, Second, feminism. I feel like feminism has allowed people to find their voice in this world and really talk about stuff that has been so long in the I guess when you think about freedom, you can think about it public or private, but it has been able to help us voice things that we experience in the private and that we just have to carry as a daily. Oh, this is how just how the world is. No, it's not. I'm gonna speak up on this. Um, Thirdly, I think feminism has. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to put in there. I think it has breaking a glass ceiling of how we are women in general are supposed to. Okay, I'm talking about all women. I'm talking about trans women and everything. I think feminism have gave an identity for people who felt so like lost or disenfranchised by this world. I think not just feminism. I'm talking about intersectional feminism. It has allowed us to understand the world in such a complex way that everything is truly interconnected. So it's definitely has expanded just our horizons of how we could solve problems. Right now, I'm taking a political science class, political theories of freedom. Just how you examine your definition of freedom, it can align with feminism and how versus a liberal point stand of view.
okay, okay. Not bad. I ask this question to a lot of people when I'm out in the real world. A lot of women, especially some dudes. I come across some hardcore blue pill dudes, and I'll ask these questions. But how do you think feminism has helped relationships? How do you think? I mean, how do you think feminism has affected the intersexual dynamic between men and women, your generation in particular?
Okay, I think feminism has opened up the box in relationships to like really like fit what a woman needs and what a man needs. I just feel like historically and it's just so pressurized by society, it's always been what can a woman do to meet a man's needs? And I know you could argue and say a man's what has a man did to meet a woman's need, I guess, in the sense of like providing stuff like that. But also it's more in relationships than just providing and stuff like it's how you make me feel as a woman, stuff like that. Like what else? The feeling that I can have a life too, like this life, you are not just my life. I have a life outside of you, like that we build together. I think it's really just seeing people as for who they are. I think feminism give us that look just to see us like you're you, I'm me, like we can work together. It shouldn't be a power dynamic. Like you shouldn't feel like you're greater than me, I'm less than you. If we're partners, if we're truly lovers, why aren't we working together? Why don't we see each other as equal so we can both build each other up rather than tear someone down?
Yeah, merch, big time. I feel like merch. So I'm making fun of you because every time you say I feel like they're gonna say merch while you're talking in fresh and fit, just getting you ready. I missed that one, but the chat caught it. The
Hmm.
chat caught it. So all right, now this is where I get to talk from my old person perspective. I would argue that feminism has hurt relationships and the dating dynamic in the Western world, and very much so in America, especially for your generation. Would you like to know why?
Yeah, I would.
Feminism has women believing that the traits that make a man attractive to them, high earner, alpha mentality, leader, independent, those traits will make them attractive to men as a female. Like, oh, I'm a woman and I have all these things. And now we are seeing that the women from like definitely the second wave of feminism, the women who really had all the things given to them, like these laws were in place for them, and they have benefited the most, which leads into your generation as well. They can't seem to get the guy that they want. Do you have any like so after hearing me say that, do you have any reason as to why that may be the case?
I feel like men are
Merch.
intimidated by. Okay, sorry. Okay.
You can say it, say
Okay.
it as much as you want, but just
Men
getting
are
used to it.
intimidated by women who have education, who have broken glass ceilings, women who are put themselves in positions of power to not only be successful but also to help other women get successful. So I feel like
Merch.
I want to go to this. Oh, sorry. Okay. I want to say just specific to black men in general. Black men have been supported by black women for so long. It's been called into us. We should support black men. We have to uplift black men. Black women are the most unprotected people in this world. So when men see black women succeeding and breaking these barriers, they feel intimidated because they're like, oh, she ain't have no support. She was just really out here grinding on her own. I gotta go call my mama. Like they feel intimidated. They feel scared. They're like, what is my place in the society? If another, it's the same, just these same dynamics. Like black people, we just have to always constantly be competing with each other, and it's just, I know I'm personally tired of it, and I know I see this in the dating society that men are intimidated by women who are successful, and that's a personal struggle. You probably need some healing.
Okay. Now, and everything you just said has been said a million times on the Fresh and Fit podcast by, at this point, over 1,000 women. Everything you just said, but we still haven't hit the reason.
I think men want someone to coddle their ego.
Okay, we've heard that too, but we still haven't reached the reason. Would you like to know the reason?
Yes.
All right. Women, especially successful women, want men that are as successful as they are or more successful, right? We talked about hypergamy earlier. They want men on their level or higher, right? So let's say you're making $90,000 a year. So when you go looking at, and I'm not saying you, and I'm saying as a woman, this successful woman, she's making 90 grand and her future looks bright. Any guy that's making less than $90,000 a year, bless you, love, is not a viable option for a long-term relationship or a mate. She wants a guy that makes $100,000 a year or more, and we've heard this a million times: six figures, 6 feet, six pack, right? So I want a guy that makes over $100,000 a year or more. I want a guy who's in shape, right? I want a guy who's over 6 feet. And the height thing, it is what it is. It varies, but most women want a guy that's taller than them, stronger than them, more successful to them, right? So $100,000 a year or more in America, and you and I talked about this when you were in Miami, only 15% of the entire population fits into that group. Men, women, gay dudes, married people, you know what I mean? Fat people, short people. Only 15% of America fits into that group. Let's say half of that number, let's say 7% are men, and let's say 3% of that are men who aren't married, who aren't gay, right? So do you see, if that's your pool, it is, and it's all dudes, like not just black dudes, right? Like they make up even smaller portion of that. White dudes, Italian, everybody. That's your pool. You're not going to be able to get the guy that you want. And because of that, women will rather be alone with the dog and the cat than be with that guy who makes them happy, serving their coffee at Starbucks, making $40,000 a year. They're like, I am not going to be with that guy. I'd rather be alone. That is what feminism has done in the West. It has given all the leverage to the top tier guys. We'll just say the top 20% of guys get all the leverage, because not just the successful women like you and your counterparts in school, the ratchet chicks too. They all want that top tier dude. So feminism has hurt women in that respect because they're not going to be happy. Do you know the most unhappy human in America? You know what that person is?
Who?
40-year-old woman making over $100,000 a year, no kids. The most unhappy person in America. Right? So
I'm gonna
let
have to
that,
see that study.
we got it. We got it. I got it right here. Meet the happiest people. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can't. Uh-oh. I lost you. Give me a second, because last time I did this, hopefully I'll be able to pull this up in the in my thing. Or just type in your computer, meet the happiest, was it the happiest people in America? Meet the least happiest people
Okay, I see it. Female,
in America.
42 years old, unmarried, no children, house income under 100,000, in a professional position, doctor, lawyer, etc.
So everything I just said kind of goes to that. And it's a real easy fix. Real easy fix. You got to stifle the hypergamy. If you got the bag, your dude ain't got to have the bag too. If you making $300,000 a year, it doesn't matter how much your mate makes. But hypergamy is hardwired. It's hard. Just like men are hardwired to want women between the ages of 18 and 26. They find them the most desirable. I mean, it's just hardwired into us as men, right? Women, they got to get the best. It's hardwired in there. And shout out to Myron Gaines. The more money and status that a woman gets, the more doors close, right? Whereas the more money, status, clout that a man gets, the more doors open.
And I guess you could say that's sexism. That is that not sexism?
And you know what? I say it's reality. Reality is sexist.
I
When
know.
you agree.
And that's I think that when you say feminism has indoctrinated us with us these beliefs, like when a woman makes this much money, she doesn't want anyone lower than that. That's how you take feminism and apply it to your life. Everything you do, it has to be personal. You have to apply it to your life, because when you really, a lot of people understand feminism as like this. Because when you say feminism, you can mean a bunch of things: white feminism, intersectional feminism, womanism, all of this type of things. So you have
Suzette,
to
I
figure
see you,
out,
baby. Oh,
you
keep
have
going.
to
I'm sorry.
figure out, you have to figure out how feminism applies to yourself and stuff like that, and really what you want out of this life. Like, I can't say this enough. Money is the center of all things in this world. So to really educate yourself, like you have to educate yourself with intentions of having no money. You have to really understand how you do have to understand how the world works, but you also, how can I decolonize myself? How can I learn more and explore more? Like there's more to I prefer. There's more to humanity than money, all of these other stuff. Like, really, what do you give me? I'm in a moral philosophy class. So we talk about stuff like, what do you value? What's good? What's happy for you? And stuff like that. And like you said, a lot of people say the word
Hypergamy, yeah, or you can call it hyper.
hypergamy.
You can call it hypergamy. Shout out to Rich Cooper. He calls it hyper. He used to call it hypergamy. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a pause here because you walked into a minefield, and I got to give you your props because you swinging, girl. You in there. You like whatever. I don't care, big unk. I don't care. You in there. But like my T-shirt shows you, I'm the number one. I am Afro Samurai. So we're gonna bring in, without further ado, a newfound friend and colleague, someone I respect immensely, an attorney, a YouTuber, a sister, a hardcore Jamaican. Put your hands together, y'all. Here she is, Miss Suzette Speaks.
Wagwan, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Listen, I don't know what I'm walking into. Good evening, DL.
Girl,
I
you
was on
walking
a
into
call, so I missed like the last 45 minutes.
it. Ooh, you walking into it. It is going on. This is what we call a hot LZ. This is what we pop red smoke. It's rounds flying, helicopters are landing and taking off. It's going crazy right now. And I got to give a big up to Klarke because she is in here holding her own. I am so proud of
All
her.
right.
I'm so proud of her. Yeah, that's for you. I give you a little happy, get a little happy there. So we started out talking about how black women are depicted in the media. That's how we started, and then we got more than halfway through it, and we've shifted all the way into dating dynamics, and then that led into feminism. And y'all over here with the red pill crowd,
Lord,
right?
blow
We in here.
past through. I don't know if I'm ready for this now. It's late. Come
so
on.
what we'll do is this: we'll leave the hardcore stuff alone for now.
Oh, child.
And
I just
what I
came to
want to
show
do,
some support, DL. I don't know. I wasn't ready for.
you ain't ready for it. Come on, counselor, you gotta be ready for everything. You gotta be
I'm
ready for everything.
hungry.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this because you're hungry. You need to get going, and you just want to.
I'm just showing love. Just showing some.
Thank you for showing me some love. But what I would like you to do, if you wouldn't mind,
Mhm.
just kind of telling everyone who you are real quick, and then I want to let you give Clark some advice because she wants to follow your footsteps into the law field, and she has big plans on changing the world. And I know you always looking for young soldiers, and she one of them. So if we can start with,
Fantastic.
yeah, let everybody know who you are.
Well, shout out to DL Saint. Thank you for having me up here. I have a lot of respect for you too, brother. Thank you for that warm welcome. I'm here as a YouTuber only, not in my legal mind. I am an attorney by training. I am here in Miami. I also do social media as well as traditional media. So I am a television host, and I call myself, I don't know if that's a word, but socialpreneur now on YouTube and making content that is geared towards personal development and growth. I do a little bit of relationships. Hello. There's so much attached to that strong, independent label. I don't know if I should take it as a compliment, and I hope I can. But I do believe men and women need each other. I think we complement each other honestly when we do things. I guess with the other person in mind and not just ourselves. But I'm not in a relationship, so I don't really like to comment on relationships that much because I feel like I have much to learn. But I do, like to have interesting conversations with people. So I'm willing to contribute for a few here, DL. But when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah, we'll give you a couple minutes just for Clark's sake. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, this moment right here, and fellas, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, just bear with us. I believe in networking over all else, and I just want to get an opportunity to connect Clark and Suzette. That's really what I want to do right now, and then Suzette can bounce out, and we can get back to beating up on Clark.
No,
So
don't do that. No, don't
yes,
do
we no, but
If
it's
I
with love.
hadn't eaten at 2 p.m. and I was all good, even on the last phone call, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get at least some hot tea. Maybe I can get back home. But
Yeah,
but cool. So Clark, you are in your undergraduate studies, etc.
Yes, I'm a philosophy, politics, economics major and public policy and sociology minor.
Wow, well, girl, you're doing a lot of reading. Goodness,
Yeah, I am.
fantastic. And you want to go to law school?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, the one thing I will say, and I had this conversation kind of offline, he doesn't know, thank you, that I will mention our conversation. I won't mention a name, is that a lot of people who I've met who say they want to go to law school, etc., do not focus early enough on GPA and on preparation for exam taking. So I think you got to be really careful when it comes to sorry, somebody calling me. You have to be very careful early on. It sounds like you are in your journey with making sure that GPA is rock solid, right? Law school is so competitive, and there are a limited amount of seats to go around. So I would say first and foremost, make sure as you are going through and matriculating through your undergraduate, you are just knocking A's out the park, right? We want magna cum or summa cum. That's what we want.
okay,
Um,
and for us stupid people, magna cum laude, summa cum
so it
laude.
just
What is
means
that?
with distinction, and it is usually given to a certain GPA, either above. I think it might be like a 3.8, 3.9. Well, I don't remember exactly. I don't want to say the wrong numbers, but basically with distinction. So your GPA reflecting that you were kind of at the top of your class. So you want to try to do that. We don't play games with that. I would advise it also. Are you at a PWI or HBCU?
A PW. I go to the Ohio State University.
Okay, nice. So I would say you definitely want to, or have you thought about where you might want to go to law school? You think you might want to diversify, go to the Northeast, go to the South, have you gotten that far yet?
The Northeast, I have been looking into Columbia Law School. It's been always a passion of mine.
Big decision and wonderful thought process. Diversify, right? So I tell people if they're at HBCU, usually you get your second degree at a PWI. People want to know that you can hang in different circles, right? And that you are versatile. So Northeast, when you told me Midwest, I was like, she better go to Northeast or out West, maybe. So great, you're thinking about Columbia. So obviously, quicker that you can look at the rubric that they require. I was gonna say I talked to a gentleman last night, kind of anonymously, and we were talking offline, and I was telling him like he was getting ready to take the LSAT and had not really done the preparation necessary. And I find a lot of Black people do this. I'm smart. I'm just going to take the test. Don't play yourself, not you specifically, but people in general need to understand how difficult some of these admissions tests are on purpose. So we have to really, really set that, I would say, 3 to 6 months window prior to study, to take the prep courses. There are scholarships for them. You can work and save your money and take them. So whether it's Barbary, Princeton Review, I don't know which ones they have out now. Don't play yourself, not you specific, but just in general. Make sure you're doing both for the LSAT. Of course, for when you're doing your bar exam too. I've seen people take the bar cold, and I'm like, what is going on with our lives? We feel like we have like a spiritual epiphany, and God gonna see me through it. No, you will get a low score. So off top, you got to remember you can take the LSAT more than once. I'm sure if you already know this, please stop me. If you know this already, please stop me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know some of this, so you're gonna make sure that that score median is super important. So when you're ready, take it is what I'll say. Just when you're ready, when you've done all your homework and you feel like you actually are doing well enough on the practice tests. I never felt like I was. When you get to law school, I would definitely say the networking that DL talks about, there are unwritten rules that everybody who has had family, who has gone through law school, do you have lawyers in your family already?
I do not.
Okay, so a lot of what I had to learn, thank you God, for a homegirl God sent me, named Jody. Shout out to Jody. Understanding that there were everything from class outlines to prior class tests that were floating around at law school. There was so much informal information. There's even, I think it's called LEWS, it's acronym LEEWS, a law school exam writing program that this guy sells for like, I forget, 500-600 bucks. That teaches you how to write a law school exam. I didn't learn about it till third year. There were so many different tricks to the trade that I think for me it was discouraging because I just thought I was smart and I was going to kill it in my first year. First semester grades were kind of like, it's like, wait a minute, I'm smart. What's going on? But yeah, become friends and network. That's all I will say about that because there
Oh,
was so much informal information. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
okay. No, say thank you very much. And this is what I'm gonna do because I've adopted her as my niece. My niece is her friend. They
Mm,
came here to Tampa for spring break. I
mm,
was so taken by this young woman's intellect and her wisdom beyond her years. I'm like, I got to have you on. We got to do something. And I didn't know about her ambitions to get into law. We have lawyers and judges in our family, first of all.
mhm,
So that
mhm.
means you now have lawyers and judges in
There
your
you
you
go.
to and she's gonna be in Miami soon. You guys offline need to get
Yes,
together
would love
Definitely
to. But it
100%.
sounds
and
like she's
Clark.
like really, really prepared.
Yeah,
But there's always things you don't know and you don't know that you
Hmm.
don't know. So I would love to if you hit me up on Insta or
Yes. What
I'll
however.
is
make
your
sure
Insta?
I'll send it to you, Clark.
Suzette Speaks. Everything is Suzette Speaks.
Right.
But yeah, it's very interesting this road to becoming a lawyer. There's so many, like I said, looking back, I was like, nobody can teach none of this. And I don't even think other Black students knew it. Um, but
The,
again, different
the,
environments at different schools. Some are more supportive. I had a cousin while I was in law school who went to Georgetown. I was like, dang, should I have gone to Georgetown? Like they had the best, Black Law Students Association called Balsa. I was
Hmm.
very involved in Balsa. You need to run. I ran for a national office in Balsa. And what is very interesting, the guys and girls who were the national leadership of the Black Law Students Association are the mayor of Atlanta now. Like I know so many people state reps around the country. I was like, these are my homeboys from Balsa. So not only networking within your school, but going to that national convention wherever they hold it, I would go. Get your law school to pay for it. They pay for us to go. I brought a crew. It was like 5 of us, all Black women. We're like, we're going to represent our school, and we petitioned. I think it was a Black grad student, or no, actually, it might have been the mainstream grad student association, because they sponsor, different things for people to go to travel. And we got money, and we had a great time. The networking was amazing. And again, I feel like I know attorneys throughout the country because of that. Of course, you're gonna apply for scholarships through our NBA, National Bar Association, which is the Black version of the ABA, American Bar Association. But NBA, I think they must have fellows and stuff. I'm not as involved, but I go to that conference too, because you need to meet the people. You got Ben Crumpson across from you. I'm high-fiving this one. It's a very, there's so few of us. When we think about it, only 2% nationally of lawyers are Black women. 5% of all lawyers. I think if you're in, for me, Miami, I know half of them, I feel, because I wake up and I see them, but that's not where we are in terms of numbers and representation. Do you know what you want to do with the philosophy, and what is it that you think you would want to do?
Well, and not to break this up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out.
Yeah, not to break this up. I'm like,
offline. My bad.
Offline. But last call for insights in the house, and he has a message there for you.
I love you.
I love you too, Klarke.
And I'm not kicking you out. I'm just like, we might have to get back on topic like that.
Topic.
Everything she's telling you was 100. But I wanted you to make sure that you saw last call's question for you.
Okay, I see it. How is it viewed by lawyers for going to a school outside of state to become an in-state attorney for some faculty jobs or corporate jobs that value out-of-state talent? Yeah, no, you just get the best law degree you can, especially if you want to teach. So if you want to teach, they are, I would say, more partial. The network is real. That Harvard, that Yale network is real. So you have this Ivy network and beyond, but I don't think anywhere you get a law degree from, you can become a professor. It's just depending on how difficult it is through a network or not having one.
And Suzette, let me ask you this: as an attorney, would you say you need thick skin? Is that a prerequisite in that world?
For sure, especially if you want. That's what I was gonna get to, but we could get to it offline.
But no, Insane wanted to get to it right now.
Yeah,
Insane wanted to get to it right now. So. One brew advice from us in the chat. You might.
Well, listen, when she goes to court, if that's what she wants, that's what I was going to ask her, what route. And of course, you can change your mind. Once you get there, you might be like, oh, I love common law. I love this. I love that. But yes, we are a conservative profession. I don't care what the mainstream has seemed to, shifted to in terms of values. Law is a conservative, people don't like to say it out loud, run by predominantly older white men. It is real when it comes to glass ceilings, when it comes to actually being a shareholder and a partner. Those seats are still quite uniform, and it depends. That's what it all. This conversation also hinges on what you want to do. But yes, I think conservatively speaking, depending on where and how you're going to present yourself or need to present yourself, we could talk about that. I think that's something, again, you're in undergrad, so your sense of expression going to be very different than possibly 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Right. And like I said, for she's going to be in Miami, and she wants to do Fresh and Fit. Like, she wants to do the after hours. She wants to be there in the trenches for this show. And I'm like, bet. So when you come on, we're going to get you ready.
Lives forever. That's all I got to say.
We've already had that conversation.
Okay.
And we had that conversation beyond Fresh and Fit, but we were talking about Instagram, risque photos. We were talking about OnlyFans. We were talking about these decisions to get money. And we weren't talking about Klarke in particular, but like her generation.
In general, yeah.
These
they don't think about it long term. Yeah.
Yeah, the fast money comes with slow problems. I mean, you really would have enjoyed the conversation, and we're about to delve into, like, for the last 20 minutes or so, we're about to delve into some real hardcore truths here. So I'm gonna let you
Okay.
go because you ain't gonna be ready for this. You've been done
No,
getting mad.
I'm gonna listen in. I appreciate you. Again, I just wanted to come and show some support. I know you pushing through, and it's great to see you here. And I love interesting combos, so I will be listening and
Yeah,
fly
girl,
on
it's
the
about to
wall.
get in. Yeah, get your ammo ready. Feel free to go ahead and light the
I'll be
chat
in
up
the
because
chat. I got
yeah,
you, Car.
cause
I'll be in the chat.
yeah, cause chat about
Appreciate you, sir. And
thank you
good
so
luck to
much.
you. Good luck
Thank
to
you. It
you,
was
Car. All right,
amazing
speak
meeting
to
you.
you
We will
soon.
definitely
Yes, looking forward to
connect.
meeting. All
Thank
right,
you so
take care,
much,
y'all.
Suzette.
Thanks for having me on.
Peace.
Bye. You got to drop me down, I think.
I do. Oh, wait a minute. Let me figure that out. Remove. Bam. There you go. See, and she teaches me a whole lot about this. Thanks again, Suzette. And I got you dropped down, and there she goes. She's gone. So that was amazing. All right, for you.
Yeah,
That was
for sure.
amazing for you. You needed to meet her. I'm so glad. And she just did her show. Like she did her show. She saw we were on. She popped in. And then when it's time for you to help someone, make sure you do it. The problem with our community now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the black community, y'all, just for a hot second. The problem with our community now, we truly don't understand how to network, right? Shout out to Fresh. That brother has mastered networking. Look at what he's doing. He came to America with nothing, right? He's the blackest of the black. He comes from a different culture, born in America but raised in the islands. He came here with nothing and he's turned it into something. And we got all these Americans who are here and all we do is play victim and we complain and we don't do nothing. We don't do nothing. The Fresh and Fit podcast is certainly one of the biggest podcasts on the planet right now. Hasn't been 2 years. Hasn't been 2 years. They killing it. And you know what they do? They help us. They shot me out. They didn't have to do that. Yo, they didn't charge me nothing. Yeah, I super chat and I do all that, but I do it because I want that platform there. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to buy my way in, right? Myron, every time he sees me, he's like, bro, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. You one of us. I want y'all to know these brothers are for real with what they saying and how they feel about y'all, how they feel about us, right? And it's networking. So Klarke, networking is my thing. I will make sure you and Suzette connect. I will make sure that we get you squared away. You just hold up your end, love, and get those grades. Whatever she was telling you to do, you make sure you do it. And yeah,
100%.
yeah. And I'm sorry, but the nose ring is gonna have to go. You can put it on when you go out and kick it, but when you out there presenting yourself, nose ring's got to go. Ain't nothing but love in here. Ain't nothing but love in here. So, and I'm sorry I couldn't read everything, fellas, but I'm going to flash it up. Suzette's amazing. I didn't want to put the Chewy stuff up. I didn't want to ask her about her cats. You know what I mean? Strong, independent woman, but she's single. And I didn't want to put all that up because she did me a solid by coming through. And she can hold her own anyway. Um, I really dig Suzette. I think she's a great woman, and I look forward to getting to know her better as time goes on and working together and stuff like that. So back to you and this landmine, girl, this minefield you in. So we're gonna recap. Now we were talking about. I was telling you what I think feminism has done for women, and it's given all the leverage to the top tier men. Like, so all of the top tier guys. Jay Swan's in the chat. What's up, brother? Yo, I sent you a link if you want to jump in, man. He was on with me last night. We were wilding out. He was drinking moonshine. Boy, you still drinking that moonshine? If you are, don't come in. Don't come in. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for a drunk airborne ranger. We served together in the United States Army in the same unit. He went off to do some hardcore training with the 75th Ranger Battalion. So he's definitely super hardcore. And I'm just running through these chats real quick so I can catch up. I have about 17 minutes or so, and we're gonna wrap this up. And even Demon was saying, I wish she could lose the nose ring. And this is all love, Klarke. This is nobody's taking shots at you. I can tell the chat is really feeling you. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be pulling for you when you get to Miami. Please don't embarrass yourself because you're gonna be embarrassing me. I have to call the fellas like, my bad, y'all. I thought I trained her up. You know what I mean? Got her ready. So okay. So here we go. What would you like and I want to hear and be honest here. What would you like in a man? Like what you told me what the bare minimum was, but what would the perfect guy be for you? Like, you know, like, and we're not going to use the delusional calculator. There is one. It's called the delusional calculator. And then Fresh and Fit has their own variant of it where women put in the matrix of what they think is the perfect guy, finances, height, weight, race, all that, and they give you based on the Census Bureau latest statistics. They give you the percentage of the population that encompasses that person, basically how hard it is to find that guy. You know what I mean? And so, what would be your perfect dude? Like, how you want it? How tall would he be?
I don't know, taller than me, taller than 5'2",
Taller
hopefully.
than okay, so he could he be like 5'8", 5'6"? You
Yeah.
cool with that? And he has to be taller than you when you're wearing heels.
We could be the same height when I'm wearing heels.
Okay, but he can't. Okay, but he can't be shorter than you if he got on heels. Okay,
Shorter than
so
me. Oh, I'm like pretty short.
I know I seen you. You know what I mean? As soon as you disappear into a crowd, she's gone. Like I don't know. I gotta. You know what I mean? All right. So what about race? Is that do you
No,
matter?
race is not a factor to me.
Okay. Uh, what about fitness? Does he have to be like in shape, ripped up? Can he be fat, obese? Like,
When it comes to fitness, I just think about you like taking care of your body, like not I guess in a physical way, but like in a health way. Like, are you eating the right nutrition? It's like food. Like I'm a pescatarian personally, just because if y'all see these factory farms, look into it. But I would just say just nourishing your body, taking the time to like know your body, heal your body. What was it? I actually just went to a professional development event, and it was about just of how we conform like the image of our body. It's more than just working out. It's like the foods you're putting in your body, the nutrition is the vitamins that you're getting. So I would just say that like nourishing yourself.
so if he were 5'8", 275 pounds, would that be
I
acceptable?
it would depend on. I would say how I don't
Girl,
want
do
to
you
be
want a fat boy or not? Come on, let's get to it now. Quit women
no
now. We ain't taking no womanese.
do I
Let's
want
get
a
to it.
fat boy or not. Like
And this is what you want. There is no right or wrong answer. I just can't.
a
Does a
fat
fat boy
boy,
have a chance?
a fat boy.
Yeah, like the
Maybe,
fat
yeah,
boys.
maybe.
Okay, yeah. So a fat boy's cool. So you'll take an obese guy. All right. See how hard that was? All you gotta do is answer the question. You was taking me down this long road. Like, what are we doing
Because
here?
I like to be particular in my language.
Why? I like to have a yes or a no. That's me. You see that yeah,
Well, I'm
airborne
going
world.
into the legal field. I have to know how to swindle people.
Ooh, the finesse. The finesse. Okay, so you're not worried about his physical stature. Now here's the big one. How much money would you like him to make a year?
I already said I'm not really thinking about money. I'm think I
You got to
just
give me
I
an
can't
answer, counselor. You want
I
to be an
can't give
attorney?
you an
Answer
answer.
my
I'm not
question.
making no money a year right now.
Oh, okay. How much money you plan to be making in 10 years? We already established that you already thinking ahead. You already said that. How
It
much
just
you plan to be
depends.
making? How much do
I
you plan to be making? I knew how much I was gonna make in high school, and I
honestly,
did it.
truly, I cannot say that because I don't know where my I know what I want to do, but it depends on where God takes me. I don't know. Maybe I could be in the Peace Corps in 10 years. I could still be in the Peace Corps in 10 years, just literally doing that for the rest of my life. Like I don't know how much money I want to make. I would say how many people do I want to serve? I want to serve a large community. I want to be able to give back to a large community. So hopefully I do have enough funds to do that.
Okay. When I was in high school, the high school counselor asked me what I was gonna do when I grew up, and I said I want to make $50,000 a year or the equivalent. This was 1989. I want to make $50,000 a year or the equivalent. Mind you, I'm living in Cincinnati. 50 grand was a good income, a good living in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, how about I say this? I want to come out of college making more than $50,000 a year.
Thank you. Was that hard?
Fresh out of undergrad, I want to be making more than $50,000 a year. All the things I've been putting in.
Thank
Yes.
you. And that's a tall task. That's hard because coming out of college, you're probably gonna be making somewhere between $38,000 and $47,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be above that, which is okay. You got your work cut out. Thank you. Geez, it only took 5 minutes to get that answer. I love you, but oh my God. So, all right. So what you said, and I don't even have to pop it into the calculator because at this point I kind of know, right? But with your thing about the height and your income requirement and your thing about the physicality, actually you would have a really good chance of finding someone in America, being that 3 out of 4 Americans are obese or overweight. Like it's like, you know what I mean? So you cool with that. Most Americans make less than $100,000 a year, so you're cool with that. And he doesn't have to be tall. So the guy that you're looking for he might be in the chat tonight. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and shoot your shot. Um, she don't care about none of that other stuff. So
Not them not saying their real names.
the real names come later when they want to simp. The real name it comes later. So we're down to the last 10 minutes. What do you think men are looking for in women? And I'm talking about the top tier men who are making over six figures, the tall guys, the guys that most of the women that you know on your campus they want. What do you think? Top three things that they want from their potential wife or mate.
Okay, when you say top tier men, are you talking about men who are just making money, or men who have
The ones they call a high value. The ones
education?
they call it. They have money and or education. I mean, you don't necessarily need. Like, I don't have any college degrees, but I was making over six figures since 2000. Since 2000, and then I retired almost 2 years ago. So high value man, that will put you in there. Like guys who are ambitious, guys who are go getters, guys that
Right.
they have real estate holdings, stock holdings. They're together. We're talking about what the Kevin Samuel says, the high value man. So let's not play games because I'm running out of time. We only got 10 minutes. So what do you think that those type men want in their women?
I would say they want someone who is versatile and cultured, someone who can bring them to other experiences and like have them experiences things outside of their circle. I think they want someone is who has goals for themselves, but also I guess if you want to marry someone like family oriented, someone who cares for the family, someone I'm trying to figure out with this, yeah, someone who cares for the family. So someone who is versatile, someone who is versatile culture, someone who cares for like the family dynamics and like really like values, I guess, the idea of marriage, like for better and for worse. Um, third, I would say I don't know what's it going. Third, I would say I guess it goes into the look, someone who's like cute too.
Okay. That's fair enough. So I'll tell you, the looks are important, but not that important. Like the top tier guys, they've had dimes, they've had the beautiful women, they've had the baddies. They know what that comes with. Looks ain't that important, but they are important. She can't be obese, like you know what I mean. Um, I would say that probably the number one thing that guy is looking for is a woman who is peaceful, who won't embarrassing, right, and a woman who brings value to him. And that's probably the most important thing, the bringing value part, because the guy already got bread. So a lot of women be like, well, I make this money, I bring it back, I get that. They don't care about none of that, right? So let me ask you this question: if you were married to a guy that you wanted to be with, this is the man you love and admire and respect. He is the guy for you, and you don't even have to work. You work from home. You have your own business going. You're starting all your own stuff. He's a hard worker doing this thing, getting it all done. And he comes in and asks you to make him a sandwich. Would you make him a sandwich?
Wait, if he came home from a hard day of work,
Just anytime. He came home from a hard day at work, or if he's sitting on the balcony, playing video games. Y'all living in a $2 million house. You just drove up in your Lamborghini SUV, right? You're wearing everything you want to wear, either high end or low end. It doesn't matter, right? And he says, "Hey, baby, can you make me a sandwich?" Would you make him a sandwich?
am I also like do I also still have a life? Like am I working too and everything? Like
I mean, you don't need to. You work from home. Like you don't need to.
okay.
Like you know what I mean. But
Let's say I am still out in the workforce. If my husband comes home and I'm not doing anything and he asks me to make him a sandwich, yes, I'll make him a sandwich. I'm probably hungry too. I will make him a sandwich, but if say I'm busy or I'm just not feeling well, no, I'm not gonna make you a sandwich because also I feel like you should value me as a person
merch.
and you should be able to tell okay. You should be able to tell when I'm just not feeling up to par or if I have something that is a priority right now. And that shouldn't make you feel less valuable. Oh, she don't make me a sandwich. She don't love me. No, it's not that big of a deal.
But believe it or not, it starts there. There's so many women. Look at Kevo's situation. He's got his baby mama, girlfriend, wife, whatever she is, out on the street corner talking about he done put me out the house, this, that, and the third, trying to make him look like some horrible man. And
Who is that?
I'll send you the link because I'm running out of time. But I'll send you the link. But he's like well-to-do. He's a top-tier guy. This woman is out there trying to make him look bad, and it all boils down to this: she can't cook, she can't clean, she can't take care of the kid. She's lazy. She's a bum. And he still offered to buy her a home, and she didn't want that. No, I want to live with you. And the way it worked out, she wound up sitting outside of this top end hotel with like a $1,500 nail job and all brand new clothes, talking about I'm homeless, I'm this, I'm that. She wasn't making a sandwich. Bottom line, she didn't do anything else. Not like what you were talking about. I'm saving the world. I'm doing all these nonprofits. I'm working hard. Nah, she's sitting around the house doing nothing. So a lot of women, and I'm saying this, I'm just being real fast because we're down to the last 5 minutes and we have to wrap it up. But a lot of women, especially your generation, they don't understand what it takes to get and more importantly keep a high top tier guy. And it really starts with something as simple as that: making him a sandwich, go get him a drink, go give him some lemonade. You know what I
Even
mean?
deeper than that, I think it starts with how you were raised and what you were see. A lot of people are raised with two-parent family households. They don't know what marriage is. I'm sorry, a lot of black fathers are absent.
No, absolutely.
People
And
don't
and, and
really.
this and I get you. And again, we're running out of time, so and we'll be able to delve into this at a later date. But I agree with you, and we're not. And the thing is this: irregardless of all that, especially with social media, you can figure it out because you can go to a platform like you can watch Kevin Samuels, or you can watch Fresh and Fit, or you can watch The Roommates, you can watch Rolo Tomasi. Shout out to all them, and you can hear what men are saying, especially the top tier guys. We haven't even gotten into the bottom 80%. We didn't even have time to touch on that. So we might have to do a part two
Mhm.
because I really like this. And my man Jay Swan is just like, yo, take it easy on her. She's not a chicken head. She sounds like sharp and intelligent young woman. Don't put her in the category with these chicken heads. And I'm not trying to do that. As in fact, my man Jay Swan, his wife Naya, she's a queen, absolute queen. And I asked her the same question: Would you make a sandwich for your husband? She said, absolutely. I'll make a sandwich for my man. And she works hard. She has her own career. She ain't bringing none of those caveats. She's like, yes, that's my rib. I'll take care of him. I'll make him anything he wants because that is my king. And that is the secret. That is the way, as they say on The Mandalorian. So,
Okay, wait. I
um,
have to say one thing. But when
go
you
ahead. We
say
got 3 minutes.
man, okay, I think what I know to marriage to be and what I know marriage to be and what I've seen marriage to be, I feel like marriage is very personal. It's a term between you and your partner. You can't really go off like the world because the world's gonna tell you a lot of wrong things. You don't have to experience things to know what's wrong for you, but it really is that communication skills with your partner. What's your wants, what's your needs, and you need to lay those out, especially before you're getting married. A lot of people aren't laying these communication patterns. A lot of people don't know how to communicate. So they're going into marriage blindly. They're going into marriage with obsession. They're going into marriage with lust of what you see on social media, but not actually being converted over in real life.
Absolutely. And my man Jay Swans, he wants you to meet his son, my godson, who's a soldier, United States Army. He's an engineer in South Korea. That's what's up. We love him, even though he's a leg. He's non-airborne personnel. I don't talk to legs. I make him text me. He got to go to airborne school. And I'm just flying through the chats, guys. Um, look, Demon got me. I feel like merch. Most people cannot control the influence
Yeah, it's
of the
definitely
external.
hard.
And I get that, but again, and it's really tough for me in the last couple minutes here. It's really tough for me to kind of to get that going. It is definitely a conversation worth having. We should have this conversation. In fact, I think we'll have you on again. We probably get Liv on here and maybe one of your other friends, and we'll have that discussion. Um, how should women uh, pursue men in the current sexual marketplace? Because there's an article out there that was in the Boston Globe that talks about how women are coming out of college, they're making more money, they're doing better than the average guy, and they can't find a guy, and it's all due to hypergamy. And I would like to talk to you guys about that. I think that'd be a good a good episode.
Okay,
And
wait, I gotta throw this out here too. You also, when we deal with black men, you have to think that we're 13% of the population, and about 60% of us are in federal, or in prison, or in jail.
I
So
get
it's
that.
already this much to deal
I mean,
with.
I get that, and like I said, that would be a really good conversation. But you got to also like Andrew Tate says, you got to resist the slave mind, and you don't want to look for excuses and look and like play the victim card, right? Because there are good people out there. And if that means dating outside the race, and that's what that means, you have to also look at what's best for you. You know what I mean? And because it's up to you to pick. So we are coming up on the last 30 seconds. Yo, chat. Thanks for coming in here, man. Thanks for being with me, Clark. Thank you so much, love, for coming in here and being a little soldier, representing. You representing Cincinnati like you supposed to. You sure you ain't from Avondale? I swear you acting like you from the A1. You know what I mean? And if you ain't, I'll give you your honorary card. So I'm DL Saint. This is our Really Want to Know podcast. Thank y'all for being here, and we are out. Good night. I'll talk to y'all.